Hello Detroit Lions fans. Welcome to the channel and this great update. The Detroit Lions are currently facing the mission of rebuilding a defense that showed serious weaknesses in the final stretch of last season. Before continuing, leave a like to support this video. It doesn't cost anything and it helps us a lot. We have a goal of reaching 2,000 subscribers here on the channel. So help us out with your humble like, and if you are new here, take the opportunity to subscribe. Now stay until the end so you understand everything. Let's go. To achieve this goal, the search for depth in all defensive positions will be essential in the next offseason. Although some areas of the roster may seem well structured on paper, the team needs to adopt an aggressive approach to ensure substantial improvements. One piece that could be a real bargain in the free agent market is linebacker Dre Greenlaw from the San Francisco 49ers, who was pointed out by Pro Football Focus as an excellent potential addition for the Lions. Pro Football Focus analyst Mason Cameron noted that Greenlaw is an attractive prospect for teams like the Lions, who are looking for quality at a reasonable cost. Despite recent physical challenges, the linebacker has a solid track record and the potential to positively impact any defense. Greenlaw spent much of last season recovering from an Achilles injury, which could raise eyebrows among front offices around the league. However, the Lions, who are projected to have the 10th most salary cap space this offseason, could see him as a high-value prospect, Cameron noted. Greenlaw, who will be entering his age 28 season, is a perfect fit for the type of move the Lions could consider. With Alex Anzalone's contract expiring, Detroit could offer Greenlaw a prove-it contract, allowing him to play in a supporting role while he tries to regain his best form after the injury. Such an approach would be consistent with General Manager Brad Holmes' philosophy of making smart, financially strategic signings. It's worth noting that Greenlaw only played in 2 games last season as he recovered from a serious Achilles injury and was later placed on injured reserve after a calf injury. However, if his medical tests are favorable, the linebacker could be a quality addition and a great value for Detroit. Despite his recent physical limitations, Dre Greenlaw has a resume that shouldn't be ignored. He was named to the PFWA Pro Football Writers of America All-Rookie Team in 2019 and has since proven himself to be a consistent defensive force. For his career, he has accumulated 455 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, and defended 14 passes, making him a reliable tackling machine when healthy. These stats indicate that Greenlaw could fill critical gaps in the Lions' second line of defense, bringing both experience and energy to a department that lacks consistency. Under Brad Holmes, the Lions have taken a judicious approach to free agency, avoiding overspending and long-term contracts that could compromise the team's financial flexibility. This prudence has allowed the team to make strategic signings such as Charles Harris, Khalif Raymond, Alex Anzalone, and David Montgomery, who have stood out in recent years as successful moves. Dre Greenlaw fits this mold perfectly, a player with something to prove, willing to bet on himself to recover and demonstrate his worth. With his track record, he can not only contribute defensively, but also bring leadership and a competitive mindset to the roster. The potential addition of Dre Greenlaw to the Lions would be a smart move and in line with the strategy Brad Holmes has implemented in Detroit. If his medical tests indicate that he is on track for a full recovery, Greenlaw could become an essential piece in strengthening the Lions' defense. His combination of talent, experience, and affordability makes him an attractive bet for a team looking to solidify its position as a major force in the NFC. The Lions have an opportunity to capitalize on Greenlaw's potential, turning an underrated player into a key player for their future success. Not only would this approach help solve immediate defensive issues, but it would also reinforce the winning mentality the team is building. The Detroit Lions are in a position to further strengthen their franchise's future with a contract extension of Aiden Hutchinson, who becomes eligible this offseason. Hutchinson, selected with the 2nd overall pick in the 2022 draft, has quickly established himself as a key player on the Lions' defense, proving to be a difference maker in the pass rush and on the ground. Now, the team must decide whether to exercise his 5th-year option for 2026 or invest in a long-term deal, which seems like the most logical option given the player's immediate impact and growing potential. The financial standards for edge players have been redefined in recent years, and Hutchinson's new contract is likely to draw direct comparisons to the league's biggest names. A notable example is Nick Bosa's 5-year, $170 million deal with the San Francisco 49ers, which averaged $34 million per year, the highest ever paid to a defensive lineman. Given Hutchinson's recent performances, it's reasonable to project that his next contract will be at least in line with those numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. Nick Bosa has redefined the market for edge players, and Hutchinson has the performance to justify a contract that follows that line. Based on his impact metrics, it's possible that Hutchinson could reach or even exceed $34 million per year, especially if he continues to develop into a dominant force on the Lions' defense. However, the timing of the signing of that extension will be crucial. A major factor that could influence the negotiation is the impending new contract of Myles Garrett, who is currently considered one of the best defensive players in the NFL. If the Cleveland Browns renegotiate Garrett's contract before the Lions sign Hutchinson, the market could be further inflated, increasing Hutchinson's salary expectations. As such, it's in Detroit's best interest to act quickly to ensure that the deal is a win-win for both the player and the team. The Detroit Lions, a team on the rise in the NFL, still face an urgent need to strengthen the opposite side of the defensive line, complementing the production of Aiden Hutchinson, their young and talented edge rusher. With the offseason in full swing, the debate about what changes teams should make to strengthen themselves continues. And according to writer Kevin Patra from the specialized media outlets of the league, Detroit should target a big name, Trey Hendrickson, defensive end of the Cincinnati Bengals. Since Hutchinson's arrival, the Lions' defensive line has gained strength, but it still lacks the consistency to face the best offenses in the NFL. Detroit cannot enter next season without significant improvements up front, writes Patra, emphasizing that, although Zadarius Smith has potential, his advanced age, at 32, makes him more suited to a rotation than to be an undisputed starter. Patra also noted that while Hutchinson is a crucial piece for the team, the Lions can't rely solely on him to achieve defensive success in 2025. With injuries affecting both Hutchinson and DT Alam McNeil, uncertainty looms over the department. So the writer proposes a bold move: exploit the availability of Trey Hendrickson. Last season, Hendrickson was one of the most dominant players in the league, leading the NFL with an impressive 17.5 sacks. As he enters the final season of his contract, he may be seeking a lucrative extension, something the Lions, with cap space, could offer. The lack of pressure on the pass rush has been a glaring issue in Detroit. With their top linemen coming off serious injuries, heavy investments in free agency, and the draft are a must, Patra says. He suggests that Lions general manager Brad Holmes reach out to Bengals GM Duke Tobin to discuss a potential trade for Hendrickson. The idea is not only to strengthen the defense, but also to send a clear message that Detroit is willing to take a bold leap towards the NFL elite. Bold moves like this are necessary to finally move forward. This is the perfect offseason for Detroit to take a big gamble and bring in Hendrickson, concludes the analyst. With Hendrickson, the Lions could form one of the most feared duos in the league alongside Hutchinson. It remains to be seen whether Brad Holmes is willing to pay the necessary price to make this transaction and thus transform Detroit into a true contender in the NFC. Leave your comment now, it will be very important. Don't forget to leave your like to support this video. Until next time.